All right, today is July 29, 2022. My name is Adolfo Romero, and I'm here on behalf of the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program at the University of Florida, and this is part of the Mississippi Freedom Project 2022, and we are at Elaine, Arkansas. And today I have with me my colleagues,
Patrick Gray,
Chloe Choi.
and we are here today with a magnificent man here to interview Mr.
Kenneth Cox.
All right, Mr. Kenneth. Can I call you Kenny?
Kenny be fine.
All right, Kenny, perfect. All right, so I want to begin this interview by talking a little bit about your history. Where were you born? When were you born? And we'll begin there. Let's begin there? Yeah, let's begin there.
I was born March 21st, 1966 in Marble, Arkansas. My parents are Irma Cox Jr. and Maddie Mae Cox, and all from Marble also. So, I was raised on a farm.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit, do you remember your grandparents?
Oh yeah, my grandparent, my granddad especially, he started the farm, and it was my father, my uncles, and we started on like a 1,000-acre farm, and it progressed to about, I farmed myself with my dad for 20 years, and after those years, we had up to 4,000 acres rented ground, but my granddaddy started it. He started it.
Okay.
And,
you mentioned that he had 1,000 acres, your grandfather?
yeah, rented.
Rented.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so your grandparents, do you remember any stories from them when you were a kid, or stories that they would tell you from back in the day?
Well, they just told us how to survive, you know, how to live off land and to be honest, and you know, just do honest job and do the best you can when you do it. So stories like that, and just keep your head high, stuff like that. Just motivational stories, but nothing negative.
Okay.
They always kept positive images around us. You know, stay positive, and you'll be, you know, you'll progress. You know.
Okay. What about your great grandfather? Do you know anything about him, or did you hear your parents ever talk about him?
Well, they migrated from Mississippi, Coldwater, Mississippi, and moved to Parkin. I don't know if you ever heard of Parkin, Arkansas. That's where they started up there in Parkin, Arkansas, northern Arkansas. Okay. And we migrated down to Marble, and basically they were farmers also, you know, just farming, you know, and they said they said sharecroppers, but they were sharecroppers.
Okay.
And so what sharecropper would move from area to area, whatever area needed farming work, they would move there, and until it was over with, that's what they would do. You know, would farm for that person till it was over with. So the stories I heard from them is just that they kept the family together. You know, kept our family together by working and surviving. You know. But other than that, I ain't really meet them or nothing like that.
Okay. I was wondering about that period of time. Did they ever mention anything about like racial tensions or any racism or things that they had gone through, maybe while they were moving from land to land?
Well, my great-great-grandmother was white. So there was racial tension with my great-great-grandfather because he was black, you know, so he would have a problem with people identifying that. So he would say, they would say, you know, hey man, what you doing with that white woman, stuff like that. But nothing escalated to where they want to, you know, murder them or anything. But it was where they acknowledged that they shouldn't be together, but somehow they overcame that, and my grandfather was here. You know, I'm here, so boy, it's just they always said, you know, it took good people to help people regardless, you know, and so meaning the people they would work for were good people to them, so. And sheltered us, you know, sheltered them and stuff, made sure their family was fed and stuff. So I never heard any just racial tension from that, you know. But just seeing it, you know, coming up, I could see it, you know. I could see tension, you know, because even in Marvel, you always have the white stayed up on the north side, the black was on the south of the tracks. So, you know, it was always, you stay to your sides, you know. Just how, you know, the tension I always see, you know. That you had to stick to your own kind, you know, more or less, you know. But just feeling it physically or anything like that, no. No physically, nothing like that. But you just feel, you know, just seeing it, yes, you know, myself, you know. Because I'm 56, so.
Okay.
And so I saw coming up in the 70s and stuff like that. You know, I kind of saw what my granddaddy was saying. As long as we stick together, everything will work out. You know, just stay positive. You know.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about the community where you grew up? How was it as a kid? Did you have neighbors, or how were your neighbors?
My neighbor was my uncle.
Your neighbors were your
my
uncle.
cousins. We stayed out in the country, rural. We didn't stay uptown. We stayed south of Marble. 4 miles down a dirt road. So I had a boring, you know, we stayed around family, you know. It was my dad and his 2 brothers and my grandfather. We all on one big, we was on an 80-acre block. Then when my granddad owned that. He owned that 80 acres. And so that's what we stayed on, and until I graduated and I did a little college, but I didn't graduate. But I come back and farm with my dad now. And I had my own business for 12 years, farming until me and my wife split it up. I was married. And without being, you know, married and trying to get loans and stuff, it's hard to do. So, but then I moved to Elaine probably 20 years ago. I've been out here in Elaine about 20 years. So, but before then I farmed in Marble with my dad.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, 8 acres of even farming the land, it's not an easy thing to do for one person. Did you have any brothers or sisters that would help out, or who would help out? My
family consists of 3 girls, 3 boys. Then my uncle and them had three boys, 2 girls. Then my other uncle and them had about 18. It was 18 of them, so they were the big. But back then we was the workforce. They didn't have to hire extra labor because they had us. So we chopped, we picked okra, we did all that coming up. You know, get off the bus, we had to go pick cucumber, chop cotton, you know. We did that, you know, so he didn't have to go out to hire extra labor because he had it right there. And that helped him progress good, you know, because he didn't have that overhead of a lot of labor costs.
And what happened with the land at this point, with those 8 acres? Well, is it still out there?
They still, my dad and them, it's my dad 84 now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he's retired, but we have the shop, only 80 acres, but they're leasing it to a farmer now that took over a lot of their renting ground, but my dad and them still own about 400 or 500 acres. So in order to go through, to understand, it's my dad, but it's his brothers. Then I'm an heir to it. So everybody is an heir to this ground. So more or less, if they sold it, everybody would have to sign for it. You know, sign. That's how they got it up.
Do you think that would cause any conflicts between the family once? And that's my next question regarding that. What do you think is going to happen? How would that work out?
Everybody ain't gonna want to sell, so it's not gonna sell to everybody's time. So, me myself, I probably wouldn't sign, you know,
right.
because my part ain't gonna be much, because a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? It's 3 families, heirs to this ground, to be honest. But I don't think everybody want to sell. But we had 800 acres, and my dad and them split it. It was 7 of them, so my dad and them took 400. 3 of them and 3 of my uncles and aunt took the other half. They didn't sold they half, you know what I'm saying? The areas they had and all, they sold some of it, but my dad and them kept their part. And right now they're leasing their farm out and everything to a bigger farm called PJ Farms, and they're out of Virginia. But they corporations. And that's what you deal with now. You, as a farmer, you can't farm out your pocket or anything, because you got to deal with corporations now that got more money than you can imagine, and the rent is high and all that is high. Where you can't compete with it. So that's where you're at now. So yeah. So I would me myself. I used to miss farming, but it's so complicated now. You know, the procedures and the government involvement and all that, and the equipment and the cost issues is just a big deterrent now for me. So that's where farming at. You know, if you ain't a big corporations, and with my granddad, we said we're gonna be dinosaur farmers, and meaning we ain't gonna be able to compete with corporations. And you got D-Line down here, they own Coca-Colas. If they want your land, they gonna get it. You know, money talk, and everything else walk. So that's where it is in everything. So that's why I'm down here. You know, living. You know, helping people, trying to build a community back up the best way I can. You know, helping. You know, James with the kids. You know, historical events. You know but. Until now, being honest, I really didn't get caught up in historical things till I come back, you know, working here with James. I've been here a year, and it's amazed me how important history is, you know, to you know, revalue, you know, see what you can do to better, you know, build off of it, you know. Keep going. It's you know, we got to have a future still, you know. You know, and use history to help us deal with the future is one main ingredient, because that'll help you know not what to do. You know, that's my opinion. You know.
So this is Patrick. You, Mr. Kenny, you mentioned that you moved to Elaine about 20 years ago.
I didn't hear you.
Sorry. Oh, Mr. Kenny, you mentioned that you moved to Elaine around 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. So how was the transition from your hometown to moving to Elaine?
Yeah, but I always think Elaine is it's a frontier to me. It's not developed yet. You know, it's still potential here, where you see a lot of other places already went through their, you know, progression. Elaine still got room for more improvement. The area is outstanding if you market it right. You got fishing, you got hunting. But no one's down here marketing that. You know, you got land and stuff, but you got 2 rivers. You between White River and the Mississippi River, and they meet up past, you know, right here at Elaine, and you got refuges where they can hunt and stuff. It just need more revenue for that. You know, tourists and stuff like that. Elaine could be a big town. You know, because it's a lot to do here, but people don't know about it. It's unbottled, you know. It ain't been discovered yet. So the reason I say that is because who don't like fishing or hunting, you know? So.
Prior to moving to Elaine, did you know about the history of the town?
No, not. I had heard about Elaine history. The closest I heard to Elaine history was the movie Rosewood. You ever saw that movie, Rosewood? Yeah. And where if you look at the contents of it, it's kind of similar to the Massacre, you know, if you look at it. And I heard that were based off Elaine history. You know, that's the only history I heard. You know, but I'm knowing this history here, so because there used to be slave trade here. You know, they used to sell slaves right across here, on where the park at. You know where the trail at there. There used to be a slave. They used to sell slaves there. So I know it's a lot of history here. So yeah. But me imagining it, no, I hadn't heard. But that's the closest I heard to Elaine history.
In the 20 years you've been here, how have you seen Elaine change?
Any change? No.
No change?
No change. The population, no. The population
Do you think it's progressed or gone backwards?
Backwards.
Backwards.
Because we lost schooling, no schools. No, the revenue not here anymore. It's backwards. And people need help, and you got to, I know they see it, but they don't want to, help with you. So it's backwards, yeah.
And they being just the local government, or? They, when you refer to they see it but they don't want to help, is that just?
The government, people directly over Phillips County. They don't channel no money here. If y'all see the roads, anything coming down here, you see how terrible they are. I mean, nothing is channeled here, but you go across 49, Highway 49, you see a difference. The better highways, better, just the landscape and everything is just the more developed north of here, They don't bring nothing south, don't look like. Mm-hmm. But they still taking tax money. Every check, they still take it. So where this money going? You wonder where it's going. So, but all you can do is work and pray. Hope one day it do come back. But hopefully, I mean, it's still room for development, improvement here. That's what I see. And another place, I see it's a safe haven here. It's a lot of crime and stuff places, but down here it's a safe haven. It's a safe place to stay.
And you already mentioned a little bit about changes, improvements you'd like. Do you want to talk a little bit more of what you see for the future of Elaine?
Well, hopefully the Elaine Legacy Center, the museum, it will bring more tourism. More revenue for the state, for the county, and popularity for this area, and that's what we need. And I said popularity because you might not get any restitution other than that, just showing the history, showing what we've been through, and hopefully that help changes occur, when the Legacy Center opened, because that's amazing a building that's coming here to me, because we don't have one, and if we can put the right history in there that catches people, attention, that'll help, and but for schooling and stuff, I don't see that coming back, because technology to me, school, phones taking over everything, to me, phone, because you can Google anything. And a kid know that. A kid 5 years old, he can Google something 5 years old, so but if they brought Dollar General here, did it help or hurt us? I believe it's catch-22. I working at Robert One Stop. I don't know y'all. It's a place up here. That's where I was working, and for a while there, y'all, we was bringing people from Chicago, everywhere, just for our necks. We had a taste for chicken. Chicken. You come to Elaine, chicken. And I ain't never think that would end, but it did. But and I didn't think Dollar General would affect it. But what it did is it affected our grocery sale, because me and Mr. Robert, we used to go to Walmart and get groceries, sell, for items that we didn't lack, and it was sale. But when Dollar General came here, they hurt his 40%. You know, they hurt it. So. And so it helped the business down here, and it hurt other business, you know. So that's whatever you bring down here, it might hurt something else, but because it's so small. So you just gotta watch what you put in an area like this, so because it might hurt your existing, you know, businesses. So changes is good, but it's how you change, you know, how you bring it, you know.
All right, Kenny, I have a question regarding when you first arrived here. How was the community in Elaine, in this area's Main Street? How was it and what it is now? What is it now compared to back then?
There's more people, more businesses, and it just people were more together. It's like a lot of it just. With the school lacking and everything is splitting. Everything is splitting. If you ain't together, ain't nothing gonna, you know, pop off too much. We got to stick together, and that's a good question. It's like everything is dividing still. You know, instead of coming together, we still not coming together. Like back then, we were more together. That was the difference, you know, versus now. And when I got here at first, everybody would you know, go to games. You know, we had games, basketball. You know, that was schooling help. You know, going to basketball games and stuff. You know, stuff like that, outlets like that. But when they take that away, all you have is your house where you go home and watch TV and stuff like that. And then you people go separate. You ain't gonna hang together then. You know, but. This area needs something like hotel, you know, something like people can come, because y'all had trouble with hotel then, you found that out. So, you know, stuff like that, I don't know why, but stuff like, business like that wouldn't hurt us, it would help us, because it would keep people here, you know, people that want to come hunt or whatever, they could stay here a long period of time, and we can get some of their money, you know, but when you come and gotta go to Helena, people spending money elsewhere besides, you know, your town, because you ain't got nothing to offer them to stay here to spend the money. You know, they got, you know, they just get what they want here and then they gone. You know, that's how it is here now.
That was actually one of the questions I wanted to ask you. How do people in Elaine feel about folks in Helena and West Helena? Do you go out there often? Is there tensions between groups over there in here?
It used to be.
Why?
Everybody want their own, you know, want to be the big, you know, number one. You know, number two, three, you ain't gonna remember, you know. So when they said, for instance, when they merged with Marvel, it was a lot of tension, you know, because they got to bust these kids all the way from Elaine to Marvel. You know how far that is?
Can you tell me about that? I don't think I know about that.
Ooh,
please.
Man, it's probably, you keep riding the bus for an hour before you go to school. It's like that. You know, an hour each way, hour to Marvel, hour back. You on the bus, or more, hour or more. You know, that's a lot of, you know. And then it was a lot of tension at first, you know. But I think they done come one now. They beginning to become more one school, and which it helped the area, but it didn't. Cause it like I said, it's still bad. You know, people. You from Elaine, you from Marvel. It don't matter to me, but some people, like you said, be tension, and Helen the same way. You know. We was swimming the other day. They were like, y'all from Elaine, you know, y'all this and that. You know, it ain't where you from, it's where you at. So that's how I feel. And they'll say stuff like that. But, you know, just to get an edge on it, you know, and it's a mind thing, because you'll be like, oh, I'm from, you know, people try to use where you're from to get a mind edge on you. That's what I think. But other than that, we're doing better. It's becoming a one community. You can say it's trying to do better. Yeah.
Okay, do you travel over there? Like, have you gone to the museums over there? Have you done the memorial walk in Helena? Yeah.
No, I've not seen. Just passing by, no, I haven't. Marvel, we really don't have any trails or anything. And only thing in Marvel don't have any memorial things. No, but and I really, like I said, I just really getting into it, working with down here. I'm really getting into it, memorials and historical events, working here. So it really just now catching my interest,
So how did you get involved in the Elaine Legacy Center?
I've seen how James helping the community, and I turned 55, and when I turned 55, I qualified for the senior program, and I was fortunate to get on, the program, and just seeing James, how he doing great in the community, it inspired me to kind of get involved too, And then once I got involved, it just became redundant that it's important. It's important what we doing here. I feel important,
And can you elaborate on exactly what your position is or what you do?
What I do here? Well, I do landscaping. I do maintenance, the food bank program, escorting the kids. I do whatever it takes to keep us motivated, keep us going. And back up James much as possible because he's great. He's a leader in the Delta, and that's what we need, leaders. We don't have any good leaders now, and that's what I saw in him. He's a good leader, and he brings a lot to this area. And by me not being here, being around him, I see what he do bring to, and he's trying to bring the community together where we can. Be stronger, and that's what I want. I like being involved in that.
It's necessary work. It's necessary work.
I didn't hear you.
It's necessary.
Yeah, it's necessary. Yeah. That's how we're gonna make it. We're sticking together. It's a necessary. It's a necessary. Yes, it sure is.
Do you think the Elaine Legacy Center could improve in any way? Do you have any idea of what the future holds for it?
Yeah, we keep giving the right messages and doing the right thing, bringing y'all down, and learning from y'all. We keep doing making right decisions. Yes, it's going to help out tremendously. I believe so. Yeah, it's the upside to it. I see the upside, not the downside. It's great. It brings great things here. I see it bringing great things here, and that's the main thing, bringing out questions and answers, and get, troubleshoot everything. Everything is not perfect, so everything got to be troubleshooted and figured out and worked on and fixed. So that's where we at. And Elaine said, the Legacy Center is one thing. We're working on it, trying to, troubleshoot it, get it right, for everyone. We might not see it, but the future is what's important, Because we're what's happening now, but we gotta provide, we gotta lay foundation for the future, our kids, whatever maybe. And that's our goal here, lay foundation for the future.
Are you hopeful for the future of Elaine? Do you think there's progress nearby? Sorry, I'm trying to talk louder. Are you hopeful for the future of Elaine? Do you think progress is on the horizon?
I'm very hopeful for the future. Because I'm not planning to go anywhere. So this is my speed. And a lot of other towns too fast for me now. So this is my speed. And like I said, it's a safe haven for me. And that's important for me, and I just got to do better myself and switch around my own, and then maybe it'll carry on, Yeah. And once I do that, it's going to be a good
I mean, it seems like you're doing great working with the Elaine Center.
Yeah, it's a beginning, but like I said, we just got to keep going, you know. And we appreciate y'all coming, and that help us keep going. You know, that's fuel our fire to me, you know, to see the University of Florida here in Elaine. I mean, that's fuel to my fire, you know. Because I get around some Arkansas fans now, so man, y'all ain't nothing. We got Gators down here, you know, but I don't leave that alone. But it's great. Hopefully we can keep doing better, you know, a food drive be great, you know, we have a lot of show up for the food drive, stuff that's positive, you know, feeding the community, you know, that's one positive thing. And then we do stuff for the kids, taking them swimming, providing swimming lessons and whatever it may be, you know, it's important working with kids and with the community, with the elders, you know, it's important. And to me, that's the key to the future, you know. And Elaine Legacy Center, that's the future, you know. Once it, you know, I don't know what it's going to bring, but hopefully it bring good things, you know.
We hope so too.
Yeah.
I have a question. Have you thought about buying any land in Elaine? Any acres or any property?
I can't buy any land, but I want to buy a lot. I had a chance to get a lot early when I got here, and it was at a good rate then. But lots like gold, up and down. 1 minute it might be, you know, down, and then the next thing you know, you go is valuable. But what gets you now is the tax collective. You don't pay taxes on things. I mean, you can look at it, you know, look in paper for lots and stuff. But to answer your question, yes, I stay in an apartment now. But I should retire in 6 years with God's plan, God's will. When I retire, hopefully, I'm planning on having me a lot by then, and I can put me something on there, because I don't want to stay in an apartment once I retire. I want to have my own. But I have a little land by my dad and them out in Marble out there in the country, but it's so far, it's about a half an acre. And I don't want to stay in the country anymore. I want to stay, you know, uptown, you know, in the community more versus the countryside, which ain't nothing wrong with that. But I do have that avenue to go to, you know.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I have. My oldest daughter is 30. My son, he's 23. Then I have a daughter 18 and one 16. And 3 grandkids.
Congratulations.
So I'm blessed, you know, I feel blessed. My mom, she died when she was 33, so she didn't get a chance to see none of her grandkids or anything, so I feel blessed that I saw them with my grandkids, you know.
Do your kids live over here in Elaine, or where do they live?
One dude, my youngest, she's 16, she stayed, that's how I got here in Elaine. But anyway, she stayed here in Elaine, but my daughter, I had one just graduated from KIP. And she was number 2, and she got a degree. She got a scholarship, Phillips County up here, Phillips County community. Then my son, he graduated from KIP. He was number 3, and he's graduated from Christian Brothers College in Memphis, computer programming. And he worked for BGA DC Center in Marble, boys, girls, and he's a computer programmer up there. And, then, like I said, my other daughter, she's 18. She's going to PC now, Phillips County. And once she do her 2 years there, she's going to Fayetteville and finish up.
For one of your sons, Marble, they came back to Marble to work in Arkansas, so they didn't leave. Like, they didn't permanently leave. They came back.
He came back.
He came back.
Yeah, and he do a computer class over there in Marble. I don't know if you're familiar with Marble, but it's a boys, girls, adult center. When you get in Marble, that's where he work at.
Okay.
And, he's doing good up there. I'm proud of him.
So speaking on your son and how he came back to his community to give back, did you instill these community-oriented values onto the rest of your children as well?
I didn't hear what?
Did you instill these community values?
Yeah, he got his personality from me, you know. I'm glad he did. His mom, she was an educator. she was a teacher in Marvel, so I think that helped him make his decision too. His mom, so yeah. I'm glad he did come back because I get good report on how he handled his office and everything, how he help people debug their computers, decode their computers. So to me, he's doing a good job, and he's helping his fellow man, coming back. So he's already showing his value. In an area that don't have computer programmers, you probably count as, in Marvel, you probably count on, 10 fingers. So yeah, he's doing great. I'm glad he did come back to his community, and I really didn't realize that, until y'all brought that up. So yeah, that's a good asset. Yeah, they lucky to have him. That's why I feel. Yeah. And for him to come back, that's great. I feel proud of him and make me proud of him. Mm-hmm.
I'm curious as to your education growing up. Could you elaborate a little bit about any teachers that you had?
Who, me?
Yeah, growing up.
Well, I was an undergrad, and it was 69. It was the 69 in my class. I graduated in 1984, and I was number 5. So I had a scholarship, I had a scholarship. Arkansas offers you scholarships if you're in the undergraduate, top 10% of your class, but once you go to school, you got to maintain a B average, each semester to maintain that scholarship. But I went to PC for a year and a half, and then I had a younger sister. She got struck by lightning, and it kind of threw me off. Yeah, it threw me off, and it made me want to. I was finna leave. I left, and I left Arkansas for a minute after that because we were close. But I come back and farm. But other than that, because I was finna go when I left PC, and I was finna transfer to Conway, and just get away from down here, and just running from it didn't help. So I come back and help my dad on the farm. But I should have went back and got at least that associate degree, But I let it slide and slide and slide. And then once you get in the workforce, you begin to learn on the job training. You can get any job. You can be educated, but they can put you in anywhere. And if you work there on a daily basis, you're gonna learn that job, educated or not. You know what I'm saying? You smart enough, education beautiful, but you get put in the workforce, you're going to learn your trade. You're going to be the best. If you want to be, you're going to be the best at that trade. So that's where I got where I was a good farmer, got married, got my own ground, got my own loans, until I, got divorced, and then, that's when I started, she filed bankruptcy, that's when I had to regroup. And I regrouped in Elaine, and that's where I'm at now. So I'm still regrouping in a sense of just financially it's hard to regroup, it's financially, especially in a poor climate, poor culture, it ain't poor here, but it's hard to just keep big money, get big jobs, just paying you big money, because jobs down here won't pay you minimum wage, educated or not, you might not get that big paying job down here, So that's where I'm at. So I just had to keep on striving and do the best I can, what I got in hand. And to make it this far and to see what this program offering and stuff, I believe I'm in a good place right now, for me.
Earlier, you talked about how after the school stopped operating, the community kind of split up. Where do you think other people in the Black community now find community? Is it in church?
Say that again, ma'am.
Earlier, when you talked about how the school stopped operating, the community kind of started splitting up. Where do you think other people in the community now find community? Is it in church?
No.
No?
No. Church, I don't know why. It's just, we too envy of each other for one. People don't want the other to outdo each other, and it's just church with this corona is no church. Is no one's together anymore because everything's 6 feet. 6 feet this it, but anyone I don't know why it's hard just to come together now. And people got their own focal point, and it's hard to put a finger on it now. And everything's fast track, everything, everything's, and so just hope for the best. That's all we can do, and hopefully we come back to come together before it's too late.
And Elaine, do you remember a store? Well, Lee's store.
The what?
Lee's store in
The
Elaine.
Lee's?
Yeah, Lee's store is no Main Street by Main Street. Okay, so which store do you remember from Elaine there was business going on in there when you arrived here? Do you remember?
What business?
Yeah, business and that was thriving.
The only business when I got here, excuse me, was Delta Hardware,
Okay.
and they still thriving.
There's those.
Reason being good product, and he offered from hardware to farm equipment to every lumber. He's multi-purpose, so he offered a lot, and he's still thriving. But everybody else is. The other business here it really wasn't no businesses on Main Street when I got here. It was just mainly the stores you see, and Delta, everything shut down, man. It was a ghost town, when I first got here. See, to me, it's doing better now,
I'm just curious. I wanted to ask, when was the first time that you learned about the Elaine Massacre?
Elaine Massacre, when I came work here, and like I said, when I first heard it, it was like I was devastated because you knew things happened, past, but you didn't have the story. You didn't hear stories about it, about massacre. And you said, man, that's killings, and that's just terrible. But I didn't hear about it until I come down, start working here mainly, or I heard about it, working at the store up there, but not nothing concrete, Like here, I hear every day how we were massacred during that time frame, and how land was taken, I mean, even now, people with money they got control of everything, and you can imagine now. So back then, people with money, they controlled everything. Records, it's hard to find. I don't see how I'm finding the records from I don't see how they're gonna be able to do it, because you can hide stuff now, so they hid stuff back then, And then people, I call it the X factor. People back then, I know they said land, this and that, but when you had to put an X on something to mark your authority, it's easy to lose that. You know what I'm saying? And so during the massacre, people probably was taking land, and killing for it, 'cause to me, land was gold back then, and it's gold now, especially in this area. So, the hear of the massacre and the cause of it, I believe, it's probable that it happened like people's stories say. But to prove it, that's the thing, that's what we're doing, trying to prove it, get a trail on it, and that's what we're trying to do.
And how are you guys going about that?
Well, Miss Jennifer, she's doing a good job getting us good leads and everything. And like I said, paper trail gonna be hard. But to me, if you find some church people, like you said, documentation was kept by churches back then. And I don't know if they ever looked in that, but I don't know if but my dad, he even went to school to churches. They didn't have schools per se, like we do now. But I think a lot of churches kept records of stuff. If you could find an old church with records, you know, and that would lead to, you know, people owning land and stuff like that. Because going to a courthouse, I doubt it. It's going to be hard to find 1920 records, to me. But do y'all believe it happened? I mean, what you think? Y'all believe in it? See, that's all that matters to me. I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think after watching all the presentations today, going out to the Helena museums, learning that there's a lack of information, I think there's much more to the story. And yeah, there's much more to it.
See, that's what we need. We need more researchers and people knowing how to research. See,
Right.
and see how you recognize that. They let me know y'all on y'all. You know, you're doing a good job. And
Thank you.
And if anything come out of this, is y'all helping us. You know, extending what we got going here. So
Absolutely. I have a question regarding Dr. Olson. How did you came about meeting Dr. Olson?
what?
How did you came about meeting Dr. Olson?
Dr. Olson, when she first come here, I met her at the store up there, and she came in. She's got a beautiful personality, and she asking questions like, you know, what's going on and stuff, and she asked me a long time ago about a job that I want to work down here, but I was working already, but just to come around her later on, I'm glad, you know, I didn't know what she really had going on, you know. But I see now she's a hard worker, and she know what she's doing, and I'm proud to work for her and be around her. And I learned a lot, you know. She's wisdom bottled up, and it's great to be around that. Mm-hmm.
All right, Kenny, it seems like we ran out of questions for the moment, for the time
Okay.
being.
All right.
But as you know, we're here almost every year now. We've been coming for a couple years now, or
Okay.
even more than that. Do you have any last comments that you would like to leave for the community, let the community know about Elaine, or anything that you would like to comment on?
Yeah, I just like to say we need to stay together and stay focused and let the past speak for the future. You know, whatever we did, mistakes we did in the past, let's correct it and keep moving, progressing instead of degressing, and we'll be fine, and the future will be fine. And I'm proud to see y'all on top of y'all game, and y'all stay focused.
All right.
I appreciate y'all.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure being here with you today,
Thank y'all.
Kenny.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you for making time. And
All right. Thank you.
All right.
So much.
All right. Thank y'all. Come on. Well, my car.